All right, we are going live here now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the World of Ability podcast. I'm Kurt Roskoff. I'm your host today. We are enjoying a nice Memorial Day weekend. It is May 28th, 2022. I just got a call from our friend Barbara Weinstein, and she is planning to connect. I emailed her. I gave her a text with the link here to come into our broadcast. So hopefully within the next 10 minutes or so, she can figure that out. I also sent information to our co-host, Denise Vargas. So hopefully DeVa can join us. And I also sent it to Mariana Waikiki. Mariana de Mexico. And so we'll see if we get any of the others to join or if this is going to be a nice monologue from yours truly. So happy to be with you today on this Memorial Day weekend as we celebrate here in the USA. And I've been networking out at the Happy Neighborhood Project, talking to international contacts. So obviously not everybody around the world is celebrating Memorial Day weekend, but I think there's the awareness pretty good that's what we do here in the USA. And so, but this show, the World of Ability podcast, is for the world, harnessing the world of ability and bringing it through the world of people with disabilities. That's 2 billion people around planet Earth that provide, to me, in my terms, what is available through the disability community. So as a conversation starter, we talk about people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, the deaf community, blind community, people with physical disabilities, those who live in chronic pain, and those with a mental health diagnosis. So we also include those who have a goal of substance use reduction. So with that, that opens up for us as an example here in the USA. I like to point out that people with sensitivities are protected. Anything like this that prevents people from, joining in an in-person event. And we also want to make sure we're inclusive and accommodating and making it accessible through technology and other means for remote participation. So it's about helping people around the world participate in what the world has to offer and to evolve and to advance our societies so that nobody needs to be excluded and that together we can come to understand each other better and having a process of desensitization. And this would be in the realm of stigmas, over the decades past and for centuries and millenniums, there has been stigma projected to people, human beings with disabilities. And really, it's a whole practice in culture, customs, and routines and habits and instincts that, just are not necessary. And I share with the world that, I come from this disadvantaged approach to erroneously, be in like a bully position and, kind of be that kid on the playground type of thing, picking on other people around and doing so for our own ego or for our own perverted sense of satisfaction and things like this. So it is a corrective measure that it takes unity. It takes all of us working together. And when we do this, we can have faith experiences together. We can volunteer together. We can learn together. We can do our politics together. We can enjoy our civics and our government activities, participate in the work of agency where public is welcome. And we can do business together, work together, and be co-producing the future. And we can do all these fun things together. Like Marianne of Waikiki says, go out and have fun. Go out and play. And so, yes, we do want to have that playful energy and and embrace everybody to play, to not leave anybody behind because of our differences, their differences, any differences between us. We want to figure out what the adaptation is, what the adjustment is, and to learn that from the person that otherwise is seeming to be excluded. In the last year, I've been looking onto the um, evolution of cancel culture. Very unfortunate that people actually feel this experience, and groups are actually doing this, or even one dominant person in a group creating a dynamic where somebody is canceled from being able to participate with otherwise a group activity. So again, back to the fun things, and whether we think of travel, hobbies, pastime, leisure activities, sports, rec, therapeutic activities, everything that life has to offer. Wherever somebody is in one place on planet Earth, no matter where that other one of 7.8 billion people are, we should be evolving as a connected culture and something where nobody is left behind, and that we can reach everybody and be available. Whether somebody chooses to do something is a whole other story. But when somebody's not given the option to choose an activity, an opportunity, an activity, therein lies the weakness of the person keeping it from them. So here we have Barbara on here. I don't know what Barb's plans are, but Barbara, do you want to give us a little clue? Are you looking to more watch and listen, or did you bring a message today? Anything you want to share with the audience as of right now?
Oh, I never want to just watch and listen. I always want to be, a dynamic, creative source of energy and movement, and not wasting a second of time, a millisecond of time for helping this world become a kinder place. But and I was curious when you were talking about the cancel culture, like, where are all the people that would say, well, I'm not going to play, if this person can't play too, so that we're canceling the cancelers of cancel culture. How should that work? And yeah, I just came out of an operation not too long ago, so better. Um, I have beautiful views of on my screen, and I hope that's all right with you. But I realize the most noble would be to be on the screen myself. Hairbrushed and lipstick on, whatever it would take, to better. We want to better our best, right? And I want to be that for you, Kurt, because I so appreciate what you put all this energy and time and passion into creating and wanting to bring about. And yeah, so should we talk about that, like how to cancel the people who are canceling other people by having um, more unity, more power in the people that care and say, I don't want to play if someone's being canceled out. You know, does
Yeah,
that, yeah.
absolutely. And Barbara, you are a great representative of where a great passion of mine lies, and that is in with hospitals around the world.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of times when people are a patient in a hospital, obviously there's a huge practice of privacy. So a lot of times there's a solitude, and maybe doctors recommending it to kind of tone down participation in things because of healing and things that a patient needs to do themselves. It all depends on the diagnosis and the situation. Everybody's in a different situation in hospitals, but I think that there could be a lot more available in hospitals if we in the community around the hospital, and through technology like this, if we think of ways that are practical for somebody needing to heal from needing services from a hospital. And I think about that all the time. I do adaptive water skiing,
Mm-hmm.
so I think of someone who maybe is used to being an able-bodied athlete and able-bodied water skier, and maybe used to being on cut and jump skis or barefooting or doing slalom skiing or whatever, and then maybe because of a recent hospital visit, not practically in that physical position to have it wise to be go out water ski. But we have a
Mhm.
sit ski, we have an adaptive water ski, and some might think of it as a temporary disability and so forth. But I think there's a lot to be said when we talk about therapeutic activities that the world offers, I believe, so many therapeutic activities that aren't necessarily in the paradigm of hospitals because hospitals are under so much cost control. They're always
Right.
trying to do minimum, as little as possible to cut those costs down and to get folks like yourself out of the hospital like as soon as possible, and that becomes the focus. And the nursing staff and the tech staff and the doctors and so forth, they're not really those people that are going to provide additional activities for somebody in a hospital room. But
Right.
what if the community, through its faith community, its volunteer community, education, with educators and with people from, whether it's political or the civic sector, and then all the fun things people do to have a more concerted effort that when somebody's on a hospital stay and through the administration of hospitals to create these arrangements where under the scrutiny of liability and risk management that the attorneys could be happy that this is nothing but good, and the risks are satisfactory, and that we can do these things and provide a more advanced level of care as far as just practically what's good for us as a person. What do you think about that, Barbara?
Oh man, Kurt, I feel like listening to you. I feel like I'm going for the Olympics as a gymnast, and I'm like holding onto the bar, and you gotta like keep your focus. Don't let go. Don't let go. Don't let go. And to try to take in all that you have to give, and to be able to respond to you, and intelligently and caringly. Yeah, I think so much what you're saying. I see. I keep encouraging everyone to read the book Cast because it got the Pulitzer Peace Award. And, just came out, I guess, in the last year or so. And it's so important because then you get to look at what's going on in hospitals through the eyes of people creating that kind of caste mentality. These are the untouchables, these are the ones that do the dirtiest work, right? You get like least amount of pay. That whole, you got to listen to the doctor. You're supposed to be afraid of the doctor, even, and his wrath, if something's not right, and just all the tension that people feeling, having to fill out all this paperwork, so that they can hold on to their jobs. And, there's so much there, so much tension that could be released if we saw each other more as we're community working together. And what you were saying, the hope that you give that once you're out of that hospital caste kind of, economic environment, and you come more into the community of neighbors, um, to help people be part of the community of joy and healing and play. And that, it's not impossible, it's not overwhelming for anybody to be helping anyone else. It shouldn't be, right? Because we're trying to eliminate those feelings of powerlessness and, just being so tired, so overworked, and, where you don't totally believe in where your energy's going, what you're doing, and all the things that create suffering, physical suffering, and mental, emotional, even getting caught up in anger as a disability. And how we need to start talking about this in ways that are pleasing. Like when I brought the Thumb Buddy show to trying to all the elementary schools, all the second graders in Broward County, that talked about what's good mental health. Oh, good mental health is I feel good about me and I have like hope for the future. And, second graders can even, can relate to that. And if you're going, man, I'm angry all the time, then, and you're wearing that like it was a shirt, and you're not taking it off like what those shirts, the wool shirts that people had to wear because they were supposed to be miserable, right? The living always trying to die for the dead. Um, and we don't do those shirts anymore. But I think people still feel responsible for suffering and their own suffering, other people's suffering, or if they don't feel that, then they're caught up in, that kind of anger. But it's still these are still all places where people are not in good mental health because I don't think they can honestly say, I feel really good about me. I feel good about like the future, good about what you're doing, how you're contributing, those kind of feelings that are good mental health. And that's what we're all working for, right? We're all working to that sense of being part, belonging to a community. And hopefully everyone wants to be part of like a loving, fun, laughing, loving, and laughing in a way that it's not putting anyone else down, but laughing in a way that it's shared joy that's just bubbling up from the surface of our beings, and we're able to relate to. We gotta keep developing ourselves until everyone sees what the game is and how beautiful it is and how much fun. And come on, let's play, let's feel good. Did that make sense to you, Kurt? Could you follow that or understand what I was saying?
Yeah, that was a perfect segue that we are joined here now by Mariana of Waikiki, Mariana de Mexico, and this whole idea of go out and play has been infused into the world of ability by Marianne. So,
Mm-hmm.
welcome, Marianne, and we want to give you the mic to let us know what's on your mind today. What does May 28th bring for you?
Aloha, can you hear me?
We
Yes.
hear you good. Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, we got a couple of pit bulls here that are my guard dogs, so hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, I'm glad that Barbara is feeling better, and thank you again, Kurt and Emily, for hosting this World of Ability. Um, Shift is happening around the world, and Barbara, it's just one step at a time, and Reiki, and get up in that positive mental attitude as
Mm-hmm.
Mental Health Awareness Month. And, if you kind of just put 10 things out there in your mind, or a to-do list or accomplish list, then
Mm-hmm.
it will happen and you'll feel good about yourself. So even if
Mm-hmm.
it's moving from one muscle to another, you got your fingers. So, exercise your fingers. And I encourage you to visit my website and learn the 26 letters of the finger spelling alphabet
I'd love
while
to.
you are in recovering. So, Kurt, my website is actsofkindnessseries.com. You can meet the sign language characters such as Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab, Chelsea, the courageous sign language chicken, and Eve, the finger spelling bumblebee. And they're all in my books, the Acts of Kindness series. The first book is Underwater Acts of Kindness, featuring Noah, the hard of hearing whale, who is recovering from an accident too, Barbara, in the
Mm-hmm.
book. And he gets rehabilitated by Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab. And so he also has to go to the ship-in clinic, and he gets sad because he sees all the sick fish because of the garbage and the pollution that is affecting them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's recruited by the general of the New Earth Army to tackle this great Pacific garbage patch. So, what I'm experiencing this week is I'm in Mexico, and it's not a matter of a drought everywhere, but we have to purchase our own water here. So, we
Uh-oh.
just ran out of water. So, yeah, so what am I going to do? How am I going to cook? How am I going to shower, which I just did? But water will be on its way. So it's a little, another way of think about other people and what the world has happening worldwide of people without water, people, clean water for cooking. And And again, we're partnering with Clean Water Foundation, Leanne McLaughlin out of Seattle, bringing filters to schools and churches and villages here in Mexico and also to 35 countries as well. So glad to partner with all this and to give, all this a message out there to the universe so that we can get people to help network. We can help people fund for these schools and churches and our local homes. And so that it's our right to have clean water, and clean water brings a healthy body also too. So, hope you're drinking lots of water there, Barbara, ice chips. So, um, and yeah, Kurt, you're going to be going water skiing. And so I am also working on some projects. It was a very busy week. We don't celebrate Memorial Day here, but thank you for everybody being of service. We had a great World or Happy Neighborhood Projects combined event now. It's H&P Ability and Veterans. And wow, that was very amazing and powerful for these veterans to come in and talk about their businesses and working together. I just thought it was so exciting, Kurt. So thank you for that combination. And I'm very excited to hear about your future projects that you mentioned. And when that time is, you can tell us about that. I'm very interested in working with you. And I had some other busy meetings, long events too. I was on several seminars with crowdfunding speakers, how to relaunch my Acts of Kindness campaign, and actually had one-on-ones with people. So that was encouraging. Do's and don'ts, and when to relaunch. And if I relaunch, it may look like a scam. And wow, just so much information. And they gifted me an Amazon gift card. So I was real excited with that. And Dr. Liddy had her seminar shows too, again, how for credit repair. And that was second segment, and that was educational. And here's a little tidbit, Kurt, too, for your audience, is if you are going through credit repair, is you need to send them a letter on very thick paper with colored ink so that it doesn't just get sent through the computer, that someone hands-on, person to person, has to review your letter to repair your credit. And it could be a misspelling of a name and so many different things that were pointed out. So it was good information to have all these, again, these workshops, these speakers, these leaders to listen to and to share that knowledge with the universe as well. And also I had a meeting. I got accepted for Voyage Media with my books to move forward into meeting producers. Um, and so I was on a slideshow with that, with several other people selected. So again, that takes funding to move forward with them to put me in front of producers. So we're always manifesting this abundance to come our way. And we had just some really good meetings one-on-one with H&P, and met some new people, especially in India, and talked about May is Better Speech and Hearing Month, and that there's 30 million children in India alone with a hearing loss. And it's probably due to warfare. And imagine what Ukraine is going through. So I'm hoping that people will hear my message, hear my pitch, help me with find the funding so I don't have to worry about finding the money. I can just be the creator because this is what the world needs. And we're going to benefit over 500 million people now, Kurt, 500 million people with a hearing loss worldwide. And also, we uploaded the character t-shirts, and I talked with another friend that worked for Universal Studios last Sunday, and he was my first customer and bought the General of the New Earth Army t-shirt. So it's exciting. So there's been some ups and downs with working on these books and animation games. Apple rejected 4 of them again, and it's going to double the cost that I used that stimulus check money to create them and to continue the series. So it's just all good information, and I know that we can move forward. And I look forward to having 3-hour meetings with Maria Zaney in the middle of June, who is also a filmmaker, persons with disability out of the UK, a very humanitarian, doing everything that she can to bring this awareness and to stop sex trafficking and issues that are happening over in the Ukraine. So I know that the universe is going to take this project somewhere with the right people at the right time and to move forward. But I really believe that I think we can do it within Happy Neighborhood Projects. We have all these networking people, such as Lawrence Wingate too, with Wingate Studios, you know, um, and all these amazing people, and especially in India with their talent, that we can help make produce these animation movies is my goal that the world needs to see. And it's just all going to manifest. So just reshifting some of that energy, but it was a great up and down kind of week, so to speak. But it's all good. So now I can get clarity too. So Barbara, I encourage you to get clarity and say, affirmations and declarations, Kurt. Declarations was ones on the Happy Neighborhood Lunch and Learn too, of any speakers, so that we can get our mind, body, and spirit healing and moving forward. And thank you so much. Back to you, Kurt. I am happy.
All right, awesome. It's great that we're all here as happy people, all supporting the Happy Neighborhood Project with the Happy Co-op. Over 2,300 people banding and bonding together to more than quintuple the population of the Happy Neighborhood Project and the Happy Co-op, to end up showing over 10,000 members of the Happy Co-op by the end of the year. And you mentioned the mega project that I'm involved with, that I've been sharing as I network throughout the Happy Neighborhood Project, because it's rather exciting. It's a project with goodness of fit. We're working with a Pastor Reed out of Milwaukee. And so he introduced me to this project at the beginning of the month. I'm calling it the Mayday Project, as far as from my perspective. It's not for the rest of the group, but I first learned about it this month, and my friend Craig thought of me as he was looking at it and trying to figure out how he was going to bring 500 people to the jobs created through this $35 million project. So it's going to be rather exciting. So I'm networking across Happy Neighborhood Project to say to 2,300 people there, hey, who wants to be one of the 500? Who, yeah, right, Marianne? So that's why I think that goodness of fit with everything that H&P is poised to do and provide, and with what this project is looking for, and the co-op. I'm looking for the co-op, along with I'm involved with the Mutual Aid Network, which has a mutual aid co-op entity. And so with this ministry, working with a few other organizations, nonprofit and so forth, 4 organizations I think could work together with us to create a co-op for this. The ministry is Never Ending Grace Ministries. A company with that is Grace Place Corporation, and there's a couple other groups officially connected with it. So one of the jobs is to help these 4 organizations keep up with all the paperwork that gets generated from doing such an idea. And so one of the things happening on the financial side is there's Sunflower grant writers out of Omaha, Nebraska, where they're doing great work and to drive us to finish off this $35 million, treasure chest, that may call it, but really the budget of 35 million, I mean, 35 million. And so Katie Ledoux is the grant writer that is heading up that side of it and getting this out there. So the more we can bring our friends from the Happy Neighborhood Project into this, and there's such a great hunger with the ministry and these companies to be inclusive, to be accessible, to be accommodating. And they have 25 cities that are looking on to follow this along and learn, and doing so with the ulterior motive in their city. So Marianne, where you're sitting, we could be transplanting this process we're going through here. And with what we're doing now, it's already being transplanted. We're reporting successes from out of Florida, out of Texas, out of Minnesota. And so this is like a domino ripple effect. And with HMP, they know I'm coming into this to say this is going to be a global project. And they already had brought to me that Thailand is a spot that they want to send lots of resources and to be supportive to, out of the role that Thailand plays in the world of human trafficking. So much going on to address, and it's all about the basics. It's all Matthew 7 ministry. It's, you know, clothe the naked, feed the hunger, and right on the coattails of that, it's about health. You know, where there's gaps in healthcare and dentistry and things like that. You know, they're bringing into these models chiropractors and physical therapists and all these alternate modes of medicine. So the frequencies that you work with, Marianne, you know, we want that. We want all these practices at play because, you know, we want individuals around the world to be able to have access to these healing modes and to improve upon themselves physically, because we're going to be helping them get work. And it gets kind of to be an obstacle if somebody has health challenges, they want to work, need to work, you know. So we're going to be doing this. So as an example, in Milwaukee, this group is taking over a 700,000 square foot mall. It's called Northridge Mall in Milwaukee. So this is going to be outfitted with cafeteria and food service, you know, cafe service. And for those that can't afford it, you know, we're not going to have people come in to eat and say, sorry, you don't have money on hand. You know, everybody's going to eat when they come to this formerly a mall area. And with the storefront spaces, we're going to have, you know, clothing retailers and so forth. We're going to have that Goodwill, St. Vincent de Paul type aspect where those that can't afford clothes are going to be able to leave this place with clothes, and people are going to be entertained. There's going to be a theater. There's going to be roaming entertainment. You know, so everything that the community has to offer, this is going to be a microcosm of it, an outlet and distribution center to help people. And it's going to be a navigation space. There's going to be assistants and navigators there to say if it's not there on that site, we're going to have information on where within the capabilities of logistics, you know, to make sure that if somebody once needs something, we're going to have workstations there. If somebody can't afford the internet, come to this space. We're going to have workstations where, you know, everybody gets to access the World Wide Web and attend free Happy Business Networking. Yeah, so it's going to be just a wonderful project. I think it's going to be very representative of the energy within the Happy Neighborhood Project. It's going to be a reciprocal arrangement where this group is going to help the Happy Neighborhood Project grow. And then with that goodness of fit, having confidence that in a few short months, filling these 500 positions. So Marianne, you were curious about the project. You heard me talk about it at Happy Business Networking. Anything else you want to know, or you think you want to brainstorm right now live, or you want to talk about something else? What do you have, Marianne?
When is the date? When is this plan of action happening? When is this all going to, you know, starting in May Day? When is the actually opening, grand opening? You have any dates and stuff?
Well, just by the few weeks of participation, I've been giving them my understanding and assessment that I just culminated for them that, to me, with everything they shared, we're talking about a September, like you say, grand opening. Now, having said that, their response to me is, if you want to make it September, that's fine, you know, in terms of what we say. But their energy and, you know, their crusade is to do it sooner. Now, whether sooner means August or July, I think they're very committal, or I'm sorry, non-committal. They're not committing to anything during the summer, but in terms of in September, I think all indications are they're very comfortable that if not before September, there'll for sure be a grand opening in September, if not before early in summer.
So I was just curious with the $35 million, what is the breakdown? Is it for the mall itself, the rental, the monthly rental? the property, or is it the projects? What's all the breakdown of that budget?
Well, yeah, it's to cover every little expense that'll pop up for this project. So a lot of it will be gobbled up in interior decorating and refurbishing, rehabbing the old mall space so that it's functional for what this is going to be. There's going to be sheltering. People who are homeless are going to be able to, have a bed there and a sheltering space. It's not going to be much to offer, but it's going to be a place to offer them to be able to have a place to stay as a shelter. And then, everything else that's going on, like there's going to be a theater. So the expenses of running a theater and then hiring 500 people. So the group wants to take care of employees or like with contracting businesses to have that budget that what the expenses are that they have the budget to pay all that. So it's all of it that you're thinking about.
Oh, so it would be 500 employees and to work around uh, this space. And and can you explain to me a little bit more about the theater? Is it a movie theater or is it a stage play theater?
Oh, that's a good point. They do have theater capability there, but when I was saying it, I was meaning the stage theater side of it. So yeah, it'll be both.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah, and so with my involvement, in presenting the Happy Neighborhood Project, we're looking at it as being a production space, and we actually were talking as the Disability Channel yesterday. We were meeting with Marcus Hart of Transforming Media Network, and Zach Clayton popped in for a good majority of the meeting, and so with the PAC channel. And we had Jennifer A. Whitaker, who's got a lot of appetite of producing podcasts and being a part of a project such as this with her books. So you got your books. So, I mean, we can have a bookstore, so on and so forth. So yeah, Marianne, everything that you've been sharing with us the last year and a half, whatever, with your project, everything that it has to offer, I'd like to get you introduced to Pastor Reed and my friend Craig Lesser that I've known for over 20 years. And, let's do it up. Let's make it distribution. And we're going to have a lot of virtual help. Like they got a website domain, neverendinggraceministries.com. If you go to neverendinggraceministries.com, it's just saying parked free courtesy of GoDaddy. It's not even a landing page or anything yet. So we're trying to see with our friends at HMP how we can help them get a page up to at least have a placeholder so we can give out the website and it's something rather than nothing. Or I guess right now it's promoting GoDaddy, so whatever that means to anybody. But, and then, building from there. So we're talking about virtual assistants and like I say, with all these medical models, in the world of medicine, there's telemed, right? So it's like when somebody needs assistance with health, they just want to talk to somebody that can help them feel better and be better than they are. Based on, I used to be an EMT with pre-hospital care. So the medical speak is you're documenting what is the chief complaint. So it's like there's so many ways that these things can be responded to. I just talked to Maury Zelkovich yesterday, and he's got the brainwave activity stuff and all of these things with sounds and frequencies and stuff like that, to help the brain work better, and his passion on transitioning somebody's life from where he's been in suicide ideation to a thriving life and being in a I don't know if I would say robust mental condition, but kind of just a mindset of really leaving a legacy. So basically, as we network with people at the Happy Neighborhood Project, I wouldn't rule anybody out. We got folks from Send Out Cards. Why not with a mega project like this, have greeting cards, be a part of it? I know through HMP, we've enjoyed the work of Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, and he's got a smile card program, daily smile cards, or to get groups like this to at least get the culture going, a couple times a week. Send out smile cards to people in your contact base to have that positive effect, with people. And the idea of spreading happiness around the world, we want to do it all. That, yeah, we'll have this Milwaukee physical space, but we don't want anybody to feel that that's limiting the power they can have in this project from wherever they are in the world. I just talked to Daryusha Ashtari today, with Aranet. We're going to be keeping in touch for everything that he provides from, where he's in Armenia, and he's saying that that he's working with somebody from Sweden. He has a partner now from Sweden, a lady that I'm going to be introduced to. And so we want to continue this as a global project that knows that there is a center for sure in Milwaukee that I'm able to work through with all of our Milwaukeeans here. And we want to help where every locality be able to have centers like this.
Well, I just wanted to share with you too. Several years ago, I'd like to introduce you to Marilyn Rogers too. I'm not sure what she's doing, but she had a Safe Day events, a 501c. But she introduced me to Franny McGee, who passed away. She was in the movie Home Alone, and she took my book cover, and they painted a mural in the New City Theater in New York of my book on a wall in the theater. Are we still there? Oh.
Yep, we're still here. So great. You got a
Yeah,
mural of your book. Excellent.
Yeah, at a New City Theater. So this is something to think about too. And the Acts of Kindness series, and it's so go out and play as a tagline. And I can see that above the theater. So go out and play. Yeah, and the play is for all ages, not just for children's youth. And my co-writer Suzanne Sims is a playwright. And so the Folkmanis puppets, there's 200 Folkmanis puppets, stage puppets. And yeah, and you can bring it into adult theater also too. So I wish you guys well. Just keep us posted what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on the working board of Mutual Aid Networks, Humans United Mutual Aid Networks. And so one of the 500 positions, or at least a category, I don't know if it's just limited to one, but a mutual aid network coordinator is one of the spots. And so with that, that means we're going to be implementing time banking. And we have our friend Helen Weaver with Wellness Weavers is going to be bringing her expertise in her Wellness Weaver system with the cooperative formatting that she does. And, a health and wellness cooperative entity in this. And and we have Zita from Zita's Healthy Beginnings, the World of Women podcast, the WOW podcast. She's getting involved, and she's a midwife. And she's got a system of educating doulas. And so part of this project is helping make sure in these urban areas that mothers are being taken care of, expectant mothers, and prenatal care, and successful birthing process for everybody, and taking care of babies, and parents and kids, and senior programs. And so yeah, everything that needs to happen in an urban area and where there's an urban blith, and to kind of feed this need for urban revitalization. This is really shaping up to be a benchmark approach, and something that I call collective impact. And so it's for sure collective impact, but I also have a very particular way that I expect that it reaches its entirety, because I have my checkpoints, of the faith spaces, the volunteer community, the educational sector, the civic aspects, the workforce and business sector. And like you say, they go out and play, all the fun stuff, entertainment, including, like we're saying, films. And Marcus Hart is involved in films with Transforming Media Network and radio, and just to be able to have a powerhouse to, help put individuals in these positions, these temporarily, um, restrictive circumstances, and to break through that, and to break through the barriers and the biases and the stigmas. And so all the advocacy that is going to come through all of this is just going to be great. And be able to do the meditating. You talk about Reiki and such like that, So Marianne, it's a matter of, we want it all. And we want everybody to feel like they have a place with Grace Place Corporation and Never Ending Grace Ministries, and learn about the other two groups that are involved, and to keep bringing in partners and collaborators. Because like I say, it's not just about Milwaukee by any means. This group working on it right now already has 25 cities, that are within their networks. And then as we get with all the Happy Neighborhood Project people, it's going to be hundreds of places around the world that we're going to be growing together to make this happen. And we're working with folks like Brian Gibson with Hopestock and with Project iHeart. He's more on the urban side of it. So we're talking about, as this group has brought to me this energy and funneling resources into the urban setting, Project iHeart is about finding spots in the rural setting, which is effective for veterans that want to come in and out of circumstances that are suppressing them, and maybe playing into their PTSD or other mental health challenges, and maybe creating a propensity for suicide ideation, and to create these forward operating bases where veterans can benefit and have that therapeutic environment, and to have the right setting, and to be in the right place to get their mind where it should be and could be, so that their mind is thinking of a thriving life, rather than the suicide alternative that people get to sometimes in the end of their life story. So especially here on Memorial Day weekend, we want to think about that. We're always thinking about, losing lives in battle or in conflict settings and whatever. Sometimes the conflict where we lose a veteran is a conflict within themselves that comes from between them and society, that a person gets to where it just doesn't work out, and a person gets to where the whole biochemistry, the whole bodily experience becomes, everybody concerned will be better off if if that person's self just gets extinguished, and the disease aspect, and just the the internal experiences that come into play, where somebody actually will circumvent the innate reaction to preserve ourselves, that gets diffused, and this whole world, that a person actually gets to a point that innate reaction, that fight and flight response to preserve their life, just gets extinguished, and the next thing they do is extinguish their own life. So, or they come to where the suicide ideation takes over, and just doing something that's not even themselves, and then all of a sudden we have families needing to do a funeral and so forth, because nobody got to them in time. And so that kind of stuff is what we're building out as well, because it's so it becomes a life or death project when you really get to the expanses of it. So with that, Marianne, what's on your mind? What are you making of the weekend, and what else do you have to report? Anything you want to dive deeper into with what we talked about already, or are you looking for a segue?
Well, no, just want to put a thank you to everybody for being of service. They don't celebrate Memorial Day over here in Mexico, so I just gonna hang out. And I have a friend, a Canadian friend, that bought a fishing boat, so they're working on it. And I might have to call them and go, hey, I need to come over and stay because I don't have water here. And well, I don't know when it's supposed to be coming in. I'm not the host, but just some of those things. And he's also a golfer, so he's here for the next 2 weeks, and he knows that I want to get on water on this boat, and I want to get on the golf course. So go out and play, and just organize just some things around here. It was a very seriously, I had long meetings like all throughout the day and at night all week. So I'm just gonna rest up and regroup. And but it's all good information and just shifting it. Tomorrow I'll do some meditation. And I have a meeting with my co-writer Suzanne. We wrote the first chapter, and it's in review. So I'm just dealing with all these well, thought to action and putting them in place the right way. But it's a good feeling to all this networking and to get that clarity this week and moving forward. So everybody stay safe, and Miss Denise Vargas, and thank you so much, Denise. Also, too, I am in a position here. I know some Spanish, but I'm not fluent to speak, and I have some packages that we're trying to locate, and they weren't at the DHL. Um, and I'm not sure if it's at the U.S. Post Office. It may be a scam with one of them, so I may ask Maria Zaney to help me out in UK because that's where I bought the stuff. Anyway, it's showing me what it's like too to need an interpreter as well. So it's but so Denise, thank you guys also too, and I appreciate the people that I've met too to help me out in some of these situations. And I'll send you Reiki, Barbara. Take care. Thank you so much again, Kurt, for the updates. And yeah, it's exciting stuff. Aloha. Oh, and I do have my Indiegogo campaign, so I'd like to meet with your grant writer. So let us know when that moves forward. Thank you again.
Oh, you're so welcome, and always pleased to have you here, Marianne. Always great stuff you bring to the podcast, and so yeah, it's very worthwhile doing this show every week because it's amazing, what happens every week, um, and that we can share here in news stories, and yeah, with Barbara here earlier, always good stuff. And now, this is going to be the power finish of this episode of the World of Ability vodcast show. And we are preparing the way for a very special day. We are closing out May here. We're going to enjoy our Memorial Day weekend in full. We're not going to cut it short whatsoever. And then we'll have a day between Memorial Day and a day that we're going to embark upon to be, as it should be, maybe always has been, maybe I'll learn here right now, a global, worldwide holiday on Monday. And we're going to give it a new extra flair with a little zing and vim and vigor. And so we've provided something here that in the days ahead we're going to prepare for, a little something that we're going to unfold, decades in the making. Summer Festivus. Summer Festivus. Summer Festivus. Doesn't that sound fun? Go out and play. June 1st, Summer Festivus, and we're going to celebrate one of the most remarkable people we know on planet Earth, and we've dubbed her the name DeVa because she dreams every day and visualizes always. Denise Vargas, come on here as our co-host and tell us what you're thinking as you dive into your life and represent yourself and everything you bring to the show today. How are you doing? What's happening? And what are you thinking of as you're looking forward to your birthday?
Wow, wow, wow. What an intro. Thank you for that. Um, yeah, well, first of all, I apologize for being late, but there was a major storm over here and we had no power. So that's why I am late. But yeah, my birthday is Wednesday, June 1st. I am so looking forward to that. It's funny because I tell everybody that we all know our birthday, but we don't know our expiration date. So I love telling people my age. I am going to be 54 years old, which means that since I didn't leave this planet at the age of 10, which is what my mom was told, I made it 44 years later. I'm still here. I'm still celebrating. I'm still enjoying life, as we all should, because again, we all know our birthday, but we don't know our expiration date. So live out loud, dream every day, visualize always, diva until you get what you want. And like Marianne says, go out and play. Have fun in this big, beautiful world that we live in. Thank you, Kurt.
You're welcome. Glad you can make it on. Glad the storms and the electrical outages and everything going on over there on the east that didn't preclude you from entirely missing, because that would have been the gong show to try to lead into your birthday and not even have you here. So we'll call this your style of being the cherry on top our Sunday. And it's just Saturday.
Look at that.
Yep. So, well, and I'm also doing this simulcasting, live streaming, here on StreamYard to Facebook Live, and I'm on Zoom to be able to also at the same time stream to that YouTube channel, and we have our very own Emily Gallmer over there, so that just having a little fun with that she's in the gallery and listening in and hearing that we're talking about her, and she can't do anything about it other than maybe type comments in the YouTube Live or Facebook Live. So it'll be interesting what she's up to and what trouble she's gotten into lately. So, but we'll leave that up to everybody's imagination, and we'll just let Emily soak that up and start to figure out what she's going to do for Wednesday, June 1st, this remarkable day that hopefully we'll be creating a lot of ripples and waves and raising the energy level, as Edwin always likes to talk about, on Wednesday, hump day. And then for sure, we're going to have our friend Ian Kingwill out of Australia getting us started on our Tuesday already, because they're the future over there in Australia and New Zealand. And so the Denise Vargas party is going to start actually for some people, as they are still on their Tuesday slot on the calendar, the summer Festivus is going to kick in a little sooner than people maybe be following, but we'll help them do that because we like to play into that that Australian culture with that HMP Australia group, that lunchtime crew, where we tune into it on our Tuesday. And then they're over there at lunchtime the next day. So fun stuff. So we do have a couple minutes yet, DeVa. Anything else? I guess I'll call this. We always do this to you. You got a minute to win it. What you got?
Hey, you know what? I just want to tell everybody, enjoy, have fun, be with your loved ones, be with your friends. Like I would say, good food, good wine, good friends. That is the making of a good life. So just enjoy yourself. Be happy. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't done so yet, like, share, subscribe, and comment. We want to hear from you guys.
There we go. And we're going to give special props this time around to our radio show out of Milwaukee, River West Radio, riverwestradio.com. It's going to be a special edition, never been done before, because maybe it's about that we haven't known DeVa enough, but it's going to be a very feature, premiere, exclusive episode coming out of River West Radio, riverwestradio.com on our Wednesday out of Milwaukee. That's always 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. It's going to be 29 minutes that it's going to be very DeVa. It's going to be very much whether DeVa shows up or not. She's not always on her shows, and it's going to be her birthday. So she's going to do what she wants to do. And so you'll have to wait and see if Denise is even going to be on the show. But if she's not on the show, her ears are going to be ringing because we're going to be talking about her. We're going to make sure that that summer Festivus gets on full tilt through Ability MK Now. And let's remember, Ability MK Now is the inspiration behind that we're even doing this podcast in the first place. It was almost 6 years ago in August. It'll be actually in July closes when we come to our ADA celebration. That pretty much is the culmination of our fiscal year with that show. So we're closing in on 6 years as we celebrate that. And then when we start in August, it's a whole new fiscal year going into our 7th year, starting with that August show. But make sure to tune that in. That's going to be an episode you're not going to want to miss. And even if Denise misses it in that 29 minutes, I'm sure she's going to want to go back as soon as she can get to that archive and figure out what this rascal right here was saying about her. But Denise, if you show up, you'll be able to respond. So it's gonna be fun, exciting. It's gonna be like a party over podcasts. My wife Sue puts it out over Facebook Live with her Sue Roscoff Facebook profile, or trying to think, she might even be putting it into the Ability MK Now Facebook page. So look for it there as well. And so we are having a lot of fun with these shows. Thanks, Barbara, Marianne, and Denise for being on here and doing it with us. And that'll do it for today. This, your World of Ability podcast. There it is. Now we just get to have a fancy schmancy meeting on StreamYard. And we can continue to talk about Emily, and she won't be able to do anything about it.
What was I going to say? Don't we have Pat today?